Welcome back everyone, Christine here with more Broken Arrow. Half of the Estonian army has been defeated near Narva, and the other half is holding in their capital city, and we need to prevent them from linking up. I do wish to point out something with regards to Russian military doctrine. Russia does not conduct full-on encirclements in the modern age. Instead, they do a semi-encirclement, they leave a path open for their opponents, and then they bombard that path with artillery. That's how Russia encircles a position, quote unquote. Like, give the enemy a path to retreat, and they'll take it. Encircle them, and they'll fight to the death. Just worth pointing out. Anyway, let's go fight this mission.
So, what's the situation, Colonel?
Narva is ours, and half the Estonian army is on the run. They are heading towards Tallinn, their capital city, where the rest of their forces are concentrated.
We need to take this city as quickly as possible to force the Estonian government to surrender and bring this conflict to an end as soon as we can. If we let their forces regroup, taking the city will prove a long and costful task.
Yes, actually, I have a plan. We have several Zubr hovercrafts stationed in St. Petersburg. They can transport heavy equipment, including tanks, and have the range and speed to reach Tallinn before the retreating troops. Our landing zone will be Muuga, a large industrial harbor situated about 10 kilometers east of Tallinn. There is a road from the harbor leading directly to Highway E20, where we can intercept the retreating troops. The lake and swamps surrounding this crossroad create a bottleneck we can exploit to our advantage.
Captain Battalion, I hope you're not prone to seasickness.
Of course not. I am trained to fight in every possible situation.
That's wonderful. The Colonel was thinking of doing without your services for this mission and going with the commander alone.
What? Why?
I think he doubts about your abilities. But don't worry, I've convinced him to take you in. I hope you'll rise to the occasion and show them what you're capable of.
I will not disappoint. Thank you, Lena.
No familiarity in public, Battalion.
Sorry, Agent Morozova.
Dismissed.
I'm reminded of World in Conflict Soviet Assault. Anyway.
The helicopter can't get any closer without risking detection. Drop the special forces in the water, and then they'll swim the rest of the way.
Okay then.
So, how cold is the water, huh? It's like jumping into an ice hole after a sauna. Perfect.
All right, boys, you know what to do. According to our intelligence, the garrison here is minimal, but I don't want to take any chances, nor give the enemy time to react. So, the PDSS will eliminate the sentries and make sure the landing zone is clear.
No sentries, no patrols. They must be afraid of the cold. All the harbor guards must be sitting in one of their security posts.
Perfect. Find them, eliminate them, and send the signal once it's done.
Why all these precautions, Colonel? We could simply disembark tanks and BMPs on the shore and crush them.
Captain, Maybe one day you'll find yourself in an ambush and barely escape with your life like I did. That day you will understand the value of prudence.
This story is not part of your memoirs.
No, it's not. The
Yeah.
guard post is under our control. Great job, boys!
So, can we start the landing now?
The shoreline has been secured. We can send the first hovercrafts. Commander, your targets are these 4 key locations on the right flank. Captain Battalion, you will handle the positions on the left flank.
All right then.
The fleet allocated us several super hovercrafts. Powerful machines from a glorious time. We only have a handful left, so use them wisely.
Okay, they're not gonna do so well.
Colonel, is that all? Sounds like too easy a task for me. I bet I'll be done with my zones before the commander captures one of his.
This is not a competition, Battalion. This is a combat, блять, operation. Help me secure the perimeter if you're so afraid of being idle.
Yes, sir. I'll
Okay.
give a warm, high explosive welcome to any enemy unit approaching the harbor.
They don't have the necessary forces over there. Okay, let's get more vehicles.
What's your favorite instrument, Commander? Mine is Tallinn's organ. Огонь!
All right, let's take that point. They're dead.
Vaticano. How is the operation going? Have you started the landing yet?
We're in the middle of it, so if you don't mind, I would like to focus on the task at hand. You'll get my full report after the operation.
Understood. I'll be watching for it.
Nothing has changed. We thought the burden of bureaucracy was a thing of the past, but the only thing that has changed is the color of the uniform.
Well, from my point of view, bureaucracy has never looked this good.
Battalion, you should think with your head and focus on your objectives.
All right, one point taken. Let's get more infantry. Okay. Let's land there. All right, we got Marines coming in. Can't afford to lose that helicopter. All right, heal them up. How is he doing? He hasn't even really got it started.
Морпехи ждут указаний. Спецназ ВМФ батальон на связи. Готовы к выполнению любой задачи. Готовы к любым приказам.
Alright, heal them up.
Для нас нет ничего.
That's another one taken out.
Морпехи в боевом режиме. Боевые пловцы здесь.
Alright.
Кого нейтрализовать? Разведка слушает. Для нас нет ничего невозможного.
That's dealt with.
Разведка. Даже под водой слушаем вас. Вертушки на приеме. Без разведки бой вслепую. Армейская авиация слушает. Разведка на связи. Пошел! Меняем ППД. Принял. Только позови. Укройтесь в этом здании.
Alright, pull him out.
Там победа. Да, командир. Принял, выхожу. Дома есть кто-нибудь? Готовы к выполнению любой задачи. Отряд спецназа ВМФ диверсии готов. Работаем.
Alright, do we have...
Разведка здесь. Ведем бой. Граната идет первый. Морпехи на приеме. Нужна подмога. Нас валят. Будем там. Где мы нужны? Потопали.
Okay.
Морпехи ждут приказа. По коням.
How's it looking?
Готовы к любым приказам. Прячемся в здании. Меняем ППД. Отделение в налете. Бегу, бегу.
That's done.
Боевые пловцы здесь.
Alright, do you need some help, Captain?
Ждут указаний. Разведка на. Долг, честь, отвага. Выполняю. Прогуляемся. Морпехи на связи. Да. Вертикальная на связи. Ухожу на нули. Координаты принял, выдвигаюсь. Да, командир. Мы тень. Спецназ ВМФ слушает. Да, командир. Готовы к любым приказам. Боевые пловцы здесь. Отряд спецназа ВМФ диверсии готов. Настроение в порядке, спасибо зарядке. Разведка слушает.
So, where do you stand, Captain? The commander has already completed his assignments. I thought you were supposed to be the fastest.
But I encountered more resistance and helped secure the perimeter.
Nobody forced you, Captain. So don't be so pretentious next time. And don't bite off more than you can chew. With Muuga Harbor under our control, we can now set up a logistics hub and begin preparations for the next stage of the operation. Well done.
All right, let's get the armor on site.
So, what's our next move?
We'll follow this road to where it meets Highway E20 by the lake. This crossroad is the perfect spot to set up an ambush. The enemy units retreating from Narva will arrive from the left and try to reach Tallinn on the other side.
Okay then.
Special reserve units are available for deployment.
I know not with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with the good old SPG-9s.
Excellent! Reinforcements are en route. While the commander sets up the ambush, you, battalion, will remain in the harbor and organize the defenses. The enemy may attempt to retake it.
With respect, Comrade Colonel, my men are fully prepared to engage. I request permission to support the ambush.
Captain, you are to stay in reserve. Over-concentration of forces in a single area will hinder overall efficiency.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's move our guys. We could use more vehicles, but we don't have any points for them.
The crew of Reconnaissance Su-24, shut down earlier tonight, has just activated their beacon. No idea what took them so long, but we need to reach them before the enemy does. The signal is weak and coming from the direction of the lake. Looks like they had a rough landing.
Look! Distress smoke! Near the lake!
There is. All right, let's drop our guys right here.
Visual on the crash site, they're alive. At least one of them is seriously wounded and require emergency treatment. We've established a field hospital near the harbor. Bring them here, or load them onto a transport and send them back to base.
Okay, we can use this, whoa, 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 whoa. Well, be careful there. Alright, that's more supplies. How are my tanks doing? They got hit, but they're fine. Alright, we need to set up an ambush over here.
Engines rumbling through the winter storm. Tracks cutting through wet snow. Every sound echoes the past. The first Chechen campaign still lingers in my mind.
Okay.
Back then I was a captain, just like you. Young, untested. I had no clue what we were about to face.
My memories are much different from yours, Comrade Colonel. I was just a kid back then. But I remember the sound of the tracks in the snow.
Транспорт заказывали? Вертушки на приеме. Разведка знает. Пусть еще поживут. Погнали.
Alright, get them out. Where's my chopper?
Боевые пловцы здесь. Понял, принял. Назад, назад. Поехали, потом заведешь. Пехота на приеме.
Okay.
Морпехи ждут указаний. Вас понял, выдвигаемся.
Мотолыга здесь. Да, командир. Коробочка на приеме.
Это пехота. Готовы к выполнению любой задачи.
Кого нейтрализовать?
The injured crew reached the hospital in time. With proper care, they may even return to duty.
Alright, we're gonna use that helicopter.
Транспорт, слушаю.
Let's get the tanks into position.
НТЛП внимательно слушает. Транспорт на связи.
Use the supply point there.
Вертушки здесь.
And set up a base right there, base of fire.
Машина готова. Принял. Выдвигаемся. Машина разведки здесь. Транспорт, слушаю. Понял.
Где мы, там победа. Бог простит.
Let's see how much we can get.
Готовы к любым приказам. Погнали. Пехота здесь.
Прием. Кто здесь? Выдвигаемся.
Alright, so I'm guessing they're in the buildings there.
Машина разведки готова. Двигаюсь к точке. Кого нейтрализовать? Как привидение. Отряд спецназа ВМЛ к диверсии готов.
There's multiple ways we can approach that.
Вас понял, двигаемся. Пехота ждет указаний.
Тише воды.
Морпехи ждут приказа. Пехота на связи. Какие ваши указания? Морпехи, работаем. Надо их
Alright, move fast. Our old SPG is on the helicopter. Let's see.
Установлен новый маршрут полета.
Сначала граната, потом ты. Морпехи на связи. Look what we found. A supply depot. That will come in handy.
Такси подано. Пути. Уже еду. Выдвигаемся. Приказ понял, выезжаем. Приказ понял, едем. Пути.
Okay, stop right there.
Двигай жопой. Армейская авиация слушает. Вертикальная на связи. Спецназ ВМФ слушает.
Okay, I'm gonna use the Spetsnaz to take the point.
Морпехи на связи. Морпехи ждут указаний. Засада.
Делаю. Громко и четко.
Принял, идем. Это пехота. Мы в огневом контакте с противником. Готовы к любым приказам. Пехота под огнем.
All right, you're in position, Commander. The first enemy units arriving from Narva will be here soon. Our drone has spotted them on the highway.
All right, let's send.
Вертушки на приеме. Транспорт на связи. Машина разведки на связи.
The first retreating units are arriving in your sector. These are Estonians, or rather, what's left of them.
Огневая поддержка на связи.
Да.
Enemy spotted! Get ready!
Т-80 дождался своего часа.
Send the tanks there.
The first enemy group has walked into a trap, but that was just a small group of already beaten up units.
Боевая машина пехоты на
It
связи.
means they were not aware of our presence, but also that their best units must be fighting as a rear guard.
Готовы к любым приказам.
Now they know we're here, and they won't fall for it twice. Fortify your defenses! Cover the flanks!
I'm ready to assist. The port defenses are already reinforced, and there's nothing happening on my end.
You're doing great, battalion.
Then why can't I join the battle? Everything's going according to plan so far.
So far, Captain. Stay in reserve. I'm sure your troops will be needed in due time.
Боевая машина пехоты здесь. Погнали.
All right, let's get the
Мотолыга на приеме. Мы под огнем.
vehicle right there healed up. Anything we got? No. We're at the supply limit.
Армейская авиация слушает. Тяжелый транспорт здесь.
Вас понял, выдвигаемся. Тук-тук. Принял, выдвигаемся. Морпехи на связи. Погнали.
Я уж думал, нас забыли. Т-80 на связи.
Разведка на связи.
Вперед! Вперед!
Готовы к любым приказам.
Т-80 слушает.
Need those supplies.
Там победа.
Заводи мотор.
Готовы к выполнению любой задачи.
Перехват! На дорогу! Танки грязи не боятся.
Морпехи ждут приказа.
Приказ понял, выезжаем. Куда вас довезти? БМП на связи.
Это огневая поддержка.
Принял. Выдвигаемся.
Вертушки здесь.
All right, let's get the SPG. Bring those damn supplies.
Техника готова.
Морпехи ждут указаний.
Громко и четко.
Okay. Gonna save some points up. Shame you can't save, but yeah.
Бэха здесь. Уже еду. Т-80 слушает. Еще один такой удар, и мы все. Педаль в пол. Установлен дымовая завеса. Кому нужны припасы? Дорога наш дом. Как ракетные сани на рельсах.
Пехота на связи, у нас потери.
Коробочка на приеме.
Yep. Alright.
Bad news, Commander. Enemy units are advancing from Tallinn and approaching from the opposite direction on the highway.
I know. Why do you think I left some of my forces there? I expected that.
Those appear to be United States Marines units, sent to reinforce the defense of the city. Don't let them link up with the retreating Estonians.
Where's my helicopter?
Готовы к выполнению любой задачи. Морпехи ждут указаний. Пути. Морпехи ждут приказа. Готовы к выполнению любой задачи. Заводи мотор. Тихо, тихо. Выдвигаемся. Поехали, потом заведешь. Траектория полета обновлена.
Should I try a...
Координаты принял, выдвигаюсь. Пехота ждет приказа. Принял, идем. Летим. Армейская авиация слушает. Разведка здесь, ведем бой. Принял, занимаем позицию. Вертушки здесь. Марш-бросок. Выдвигаемся. Координаты принял. Нужен дым. Применяю оружие. Вертикальная на связи. Огневая поддержка на приеме. Пехота здесь, ведем бой. Машина разведки, слушает. Пехота на приеме. Где мы нужны? Перемещаемся. Вертушки на приеме. Вылетел к цели. Беги, Лола, беги.
Alright.
Второй, ты жив? Вacre, слушай.
Commander, I pulled some strings to gain access to additional assets from the fleet. A pair of Kamov K-52K Katran helicopters is available as reinforcements.
Как насчет шахту? Куда вас доставить?
Colonel, these helicopters were not supposed to be the part of your operation. Please refrain from appropriating equipment assigned to other missions.
I don't see any other operation happening around here. What are you talking about?
Just stick to the equipment that was assigned to you in the future, Colonel. Have I made myself clear?
300 и 200.
Crystal clear, ma'am. Let's talk about that once the operation is complete.
There is nothing to discuss, Colonel. Over.
Камов слушает.
Okay.
Установлен новый маршрут полета. БМП слушает. Выдвигаемся на новую позицию. Даем ходу. Мотолыга на связи, мы под огнем. Противовоздушная оборона. На приеме. Камов на приеме. Траектория полета обновлена. Транспорт здесь. Летим туда.
все, блядь! Кидаю дым! Разведка слушает. Экипаж готов.
Well,
Нехватка витаминов. Да, командир. Работаем.
Морпехи, работаем! У пехоты потери!
Troops arriving from Narva made contact and should be there soon, which means that you're now fighting the elite rear guard of the enemy retreating troops.
Приказ понял.
But Alain, it's time for you to step in. Send your troops to reinforce the intersection. We must hold the line.
Yes, sir, Comrade Colonel. I'm deploying my forces immediately. Commander, my men will be there soon. Let's see who kicks the most American asses.
Морпехи в боевом режиме. Т-80 на марше.
guess we'll find out.
Двигаюсь к точке. Транспорт ждет приказов. Понял, принял. Запусти дымку. Выдвигаемся. Транспорт здесь. Т-80 дождался своего часа. Т-80.
I'm lucky they can't find that one, basically.
Транспорт здесь.
I wish I had some artillery here, really.
Транспорт на связи.
Help? Ah, there it is.
Вертикальная на связи. Принял. Двигаем. Дыма. Выбрасывай. Заводи мотор. ПТР под огнем. Мы на связи. Второй ранен. Готовы к любым приказам. Вас понял. Двигаемся. Т-80 готов к работе. Выдвигаемся. Штурман, выходим на дорогу. Пойдем по черному.
Морпехи на связи.
Т-80 вызывали? Запускай машину. Прием. Кто здесь? Я уж думал, нас забыли. Т-80 готов продолжить бой. Коробочка.
Нас тут конкретно зажали.
Танки грязи не боятся. Да. Т-80 слушай. Мы под огнем.
Морпехи на приеме. Атакуем.
Беттер здесь.
That all you sending me?
Я уж думал, нас забыли. ПТР на связи. Сейчас мы их сожжем. Вступаем в бой. Т-80 готов.
Alright. Well, might just be a very... Alright, let's send those vehicles. You guys just stand there, do nothing. Like, that might be the way I win this.
Понял, принял. Принял. Выполняю. Коля понял. Стрелок, цель. Да, командир. Бронетранспортер на связи. Выдвигаемся на новую позицию. Уже еду.
Oh, he's doing okay.
Reinforcements from Narva are almost there. Hold the line.
Установлен новый маршрут полета. Вылетел к цели. Армейская авиация слушает. Координаты принял. Траектория полета обновлена. Летим туда. Координаты принял. Вылетел к цели. Даем ходу. Летим. Траектория полета обновлена.
I am really freaking lucky that, yeah, that is a lot of American troops. Not sure how you were supposed to hold on to that.
Транспорт заказывали?
Finally, our troops from Narva are here. Now that's what I call a multi-layered encirclement sandwich.
Камов, слушаем. Координаты принял, выдвигаюсь.
Yeah, I got lucky. Not gonna lie.
Камов на приеме. Сильные повреждения. Возврат на базу. Новая точка получена. Установлен новый маршрут полета. Уходим
Ха!
на низа.
The enemy group coming from Narva has surrendered. We didn't leave them much of a choice in this situation, did we? Now, let's focus on the enemy group arriving from Tallinn.
Okay. Well, victory, quote unquote.
Аллигатор на связи. Боевая машина пехоты на связи.
That is a lot of vehicles. Holy shit, they keep coming.
Comrade Colonel, the enemy coming up from Tallinn is surrendering en masse.
Okay.
What's going on? They're not even trying to organize a defense. I don't understand.
Заводи мотор.
I have no idea. Maybe it's a ruse. Stay on your guard.
Коробочка на приеме. Двигаюсь к точке.
Hey, check it out. Friendly forces are coming up behind them from Tallinn. How's that possible?
Приказ понял. Едем.
Greetings again, Colonel. As you can see, your little operation gave us just the diversion we needed to launch and landing directly in the harbor of Tallinn. The city was taken with almost no resistance, and the Estonian government has been captured. They've just signed the capitulation of their forces.
And I suppose notifying me about the existence of the second operation was too much to ask, Agent Morozova.
БМП на связи.
Secrecy is of utmost importance when conducting that kind of operation, Colonel. And I'm in a very good position to know that people talk. One way or another, they always do.
Куда вас довести?
Not quite the cleanest win, but hey, it did work. What do you mean, capture all the objectives in the port without battalion's help? What the oh, I see. Yeah, whatever. Kind of difficult, because you have to take his objectives as well. Anyway. That was not exactly how I intended that to go. Oh well. 1-to-1 KD ratio. Holy crap. Very well.